Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys.
First of all, thank you all for being here. My name is Rachel Curry. I'm the adult programming coordinator. Kathryn Kauffman, all the way from Lexington, joining us here tonight.
My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we discover what and who we are in this journey that we call life. I'm going to go for a couple of announcements here while people are getting their notifications and getting onto the live stream. Let's do a couple of shout outs over here on Facebook. Hey to Shayla, Jennifer, Paige, Melissa, big kiss to you and Miss Cleo. Hey to Tony and Ted, Pamela, Corey Southworth. Hey, special shout out to Rob, Peggy, George McKinney. Welcome you guys, and thanks for joining me this evening. Special shout out to Mindy Soleil and Dana and Becky and Kim. And hey to all you guys over here on Instagram. Again, if you guys have any kind of questions during the show, please put those in the comments section. I will get to those either during the show or after the show, maybe the next day by the time I get to answer the questions. Hey to Darlene Sturgill and Rolando Berger. Thanks for joining us this evening. Let's do a couple of announcements. As you guys know from last week's show, we were waiting on some biopsy results from a few places that were suspicious on my skin. Yes, one of them was a basal cell carcinoma, so gonna have to have some surgery in June, and I will be taking a Monday night off then. I think the surgery date is in or around a Monday night, so I will let you know in the postings which night, and I'll put like a show schedule on there for you, and that way you'll know which night I'm not going to be on air. I also, because the biopsy site is on the top of my foot, there's a huge wound on the top of my foot. I have not been able to get out and take the pictures in the video for the tree portal class that I wanted to do this month. That's going to have to be postponed until after this whole foot thing heals up, because where the wound is right where every single shoe goes across the top of your foot. How convenient is that? Not. So I will let you guys know when that webinar seminar is going to come up. Also, this is something to look forward to. I am in place getting an Amazon influencer store, and I've already been putting together collections for you guys. Now, when you buy off of this store, I will get a little bit, tiny, microscopic bit of the proceeds. And there's going to be sections on book suggestions for psychic improvement, book suggestions for psychic defense, sample suggestions for gemstones and jewelry and things like that that are really, really handy. So because I'm always getting questions about what should I get for this or what should I read for that, so I thought, you know what, just put it on an influencer store, give people the link to the storefront and let them browse, and that way you can get whatever the heck you want to find. Okay, let's see. We don't have any comments right now that are pertinent to answer, so let's get on with the content. So last week's show was Psychic Attack Part 1, And what it was trying to identify how, if you're a victim of psychic attack, you know, what kinds of symptoms does somebody have when they're under psychic attack. If you want to watch part 1, it's already loaded up onto my YouTube channel, and I'll leave a link to that video in the comments after the show, okay, if you want to watch part 1. Also, I want to encourage you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel and go through the playlist of Monday Night Live and maybe watch a few of the old shows. There's a lot of good content on there. Also, if you enjoy these Monday night episodes, go ahead and hit the share button at the bottom of your screen there and share this out into your news feed so that it really helps a lot of people. Not too many people know about these kind of topics, and it could really, really help somebody. You'll really be helping somebody and me by sharing the video. So this is Psychic Attack Part 2. We're going over protection and defense. I'm only going to be able to go over part of it this evening because the more that I got into this topic, the deeper it went. And I want to present to you guys all of the detailed ways that you can protect yourself. And I think that that's probably going to have to be in part 3. But the first thing that we want to do is try to identify that you've been attacked. The second thing would be to stand your ground. And how do we do that? How do we stand our ground when we're under psychic attack? If you give in to fear, that leads a channel of energy inside to the aura, okay? Fear is a shrinking energy, and what that does is it pulls energy in. It's a shrinking kind of energy. So what we want to do is not shrink in fear. We want to stand our ground. And standing your ground does mean using blocks and shields. And what that does is it presents a projective force towards what's attacking, okay? That doesn't leave much of a channel inward for the attack to continue working. Again, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments, and I'll try to watch the feed for those questions. Also, you guys that are on the professional page, I left a link on there for you to join me here on the live chat. The live chat only goes on my personal page. And so if you're on the professional page, you have to use the link and come over to the personal page to engage in the chat. Okay, the third thing is, do not give in or engage in emotional reactions over this attack. Because if you do, if you have a big emotional reaction and you're putting out a forceful emotional energy and you're trying to connect with it, you're sending an energy cord out to the attacker and you're connecting with it. And we don't want to do that. So you cannot engage in an emotional reaction to the attack. You have to disconnect. You have to block and use your shields. And we're going to go over that blocking and shielding in part 3. But you definitely don't want to throw out an emotional cord to your attacker and attach to them through this emotional cord. And so what happens in a lot of psychic attacks is the attacker it's almost like fishing. They're throwing out the attack and waiting for you to bite so that they can hook in an energy cord and pull you in with that, pull you deeper into the attack. So absolutely no emotional reactions. Hey to Greta, and hey to my son Michael Lawrence, thanks for being here, and Christina and Von Pfister and Jamie. Hey Jamie, how are you? And Leanne. Okay, let's get on to number 4. You have to rely on the strength of the universal forces behind good. Okay, Faith is one of the strongest chords that we can establish with the Creator. All right. Once you have established that energy cord of faith with your Creator, then that is a huge force that is connected to you, and that works to your benefit, because we definitely need all of the protective energy that we can get when this happens. Okay, number 5, you have to know and trust that karma is real and leave retribution to this type of energy action. Karma doesn't happen immediately, and it doesn't happen in the same circumstance that may have occurred with your psychic attack. In other words, because they've psychically attacked you doesn't mean that karma will have somebody psychically attack them. It may be a negative coming back on them, but in a different way. So Rob says, one that I personally worked on that is extremely helpful is to build a safe place in a dream state like a karate dojo. Astrally strengthen yourself to flip to the safe place. Awesome suggestion, Rob. Thanks for sharing that with us. So Mindy says, does the media do psychic attack with the masses? Yes, they can, Mindy, and a lot of these things are done subliminally. So you have to kind of go on, how does the message make you feel? What's the undercurrent of the feeling behind what is being fed to you? If so, how can we block the media besides not watching or reading their propaganda? I think becoming aware of the way the media presents things and maybe some of the subliminal messaging that may be present in those messages. If you can just train yourself to be aware of those things and really analyze everything very logically, you can pretty well keep a safe distance from any kind of manipulation there. Yes. Jamie says, hoping karma comes into play. It does. And you know what? I used to not be a big proponent of karma because, we're all impatient. We want to see it now because it's happening to us now, right? And I've forced myself to wait to see what happened to people that really did me horribly wrong. And you know what? It came back on them, and it came back on them tenfold. And then I got to feeling bad because I was like, wow, I wouldn't have wished that on them, but dang, they had it coming to them. So it does, karma's real. And you have to trust that the retribution is going to be, exacted through this energy. And what that does is it helps and assists you from letting go of the situation, or it prevents you from becoming attached to the situation, because a lot of us will reestablish energy cords with the attack by ruminating over it and over, going over it in your mind over and over about what happened. And so all rumination does is it reactivates the pain pathway, and it also it activates the energy cords to the attacker and keeps those energy cords activated. So let go of it. Let karma do its thing, okay? Letting go prevents you from being attached to that. Here's another one. Ask your friends and spirit guides for protection from this evil force, evil heart. There are power in numbers, guys and girls. The more thought and intention and energy that you can convey on your side, the better. I've always, people often ask me, should I go to church? Is it any good to go to church? Yes. The power of prayer when you are in church saturates your aura with such a positive energy and force, and you kind of carry that with you through the week. So, any kind of prayer work, any kind of intentional work that your family and your friends can do, towards your situation will put layers and layers and layers of protection on top of what you're doing. So it's a really good thing to ask for help. Don't stay silent. Definitely ask for help. And as many people as possible. You know, there's a lot of people that don't want, you know, the populace to know what's going on in their life. You know, it could be the matter of coming out on top and coming out on okay, or being really damaged by somebody through a psychic attack. So, you know, put your ego out the window and ask for help. Strong people know when to ask for help. I have learned this over the years. When I'm in need, I will be the first person on there asking for help from you guys. Thank you, Teresa. And let's see, Melissa says, I have the tendency to be a ruminator, but experiencing much improvement. There's a whole lot of meditations on letting go, and really, really good ones on several of the meditation apps. The one that I particularly use is called Insight Timer. And there are quite a few really good meditations on there on specifically letting go. And so that's like the first thing that you should do is try to have your reaction, get your defenses in place, ask your people for help, then let go of it, because we don't want any energy cords to the attacker to be formed. So there's definitely power in numbers, you guys. You definitely need to let it go to the wind, and don't try to reconnect with it through rumination. Now, some of the steps to take if you've had a psychic attack, because you've got to take care of the damage first before you go into protection and defense. Because you can't go into protection and defense if your aura is weak. All right, you're just going to make the damage even worse. So we have to repair, and we have to do things to take care of yourself at night. During sleep is when you are most prone to a psychic attack. During sleep, during anesthesia, anytime when you're not in control of your own aura, like if you're under the effects of drugs and alcohol, or anesthetized, or asleep, your consciousness is not actively putting up a psychic barrier. And so that's when you're most prone to a psychic attack. Thank you, Karen. Rob says, pray to Saint Michael to the right of you, along with other major archangels. It helps ward off the negative influence psychically and otherwise. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so what do you do if you've been attacked? Before you can engage in protection and defense, you've got to repair your aura. Because psychic attacks, what they literally do is puncture holes in the human aura. And there's lots of, picture documentation online that you can just go to Google Images and put auric attack, and you can look at the pictures online of before and after psychic vampire attack and things like that, where they take pictures of the aura before and after. So the first thing you want to do is to cleanse your aura. You definitely don't want to be attached in any way to this attacker. You can use a cleansing bath. There's one that I have that I let people have for free. If you would like a copy of the cleansing bath, all you have to do is put in the comments, I want the cleansing bath PDF, and I will send it to you for free, okay? The other thing is getting your auric field repaired through either acupuncture or energy work. Now, here in Lexington, I always refer people to Blue Lotus Acupuncture. They do an excellent job. They take care of me and David, and I know that they do good work. So anytime that I suggest a practitioner on my show, it's because I've used them. I believe in what they do. I know that they do good work for me, and I'm comfortable with referring you guys to them, and I don't get paid by anybody for my referrals. So energy work in the way of acupuncture, pranic healing, Reiki, quantum touch, anything like that that would repair that aura. Let's see if there's any questions. I don't want to leave anybody open on a question here and miss it. Okay, so we're good. So any kind of energy work, and you need to tell your practitioner exactly what you suspect. If you suspect that you've had a psychic attack, tell them that. Let them evaluate your energy field for that, and let them give you feedback on what kind of alterations in your energy field they're sensing, okay? Because that can be a big key indicator for where the psychic attack came from. Let's say that maybe you have a weak energy in the heart area, then it could have been a psychic attack from somebody who has jealousy in the heart. So it kind of, the deficit of the area in your aura can give you a clue to who this might have come from if you're not, you know, overtly aware of who it's coming from. Teresa said, I reverse it. Yes, absolutely you can. Rob said, yes, you took the words out of my mouth. Highly recommend spiritual cleansing baths. Rob is a conjure man. And so if you guys have any questions, I suggest you ask a friend Rob here on Facebook and maybe get a consult from him about cleansing baths and spiritual cleansing and that kind of thing. He's very, very versed in that. So, okay, cleanse your aura, get your energy work done, get your acupuncture done. These things are going to cleanse away the attachment, but also repair the aura. So you have to have your auric repair done, and then put up your shields, your blocks. And there are a ton of those that you can look up off of Google. I do have some samples of shields and blocks. So if anybody wants the copy of that, just let me know. And what you have to do is you have to read the whole file on clairsentience to get to the bottom of the file that has the blocks and the shields in it. But, you know, it's good learning. Everybody should know how to manage their clairsentient ability, because we all have clairsentient abilities. Some of us are stronger than others in these clairsentient abilities, but it's very imperative that you're in control of that ability, okay? Because if you're not in control of it, guess what? It's in control of you, and that is kind of a helpless place to be. So if anybody wants that file, just let me know. So let's go over how to protect. I want to go over this, and I know we're going to go over time just a little bit, but I think that this is really extremely important, is how to protect yourself at night. We're going to start off with that, and then we're going to go over all of the protective and cleansing techniques, additional ones, next Monday night. But since you're most, you know, vulnerable during the night while you're at sleep, we've got to go over that tonight. So how to protect your aura at night. Definitely get some consecrated salt. And there, you know, consecrating salt is not a hard thing. There's a lot of psalms that are specifically directed at protection. And so what you want to do is to get a protective psalm and recite it over. I just use kosher salt because it's a large crystal and it holds on to the energy longer. You're going to recite that protective psalm over the salt. And now the way that I do it, I like to put my hands actually in a bowl of the salt so that the energy is going back and forth from the hands in between. And the energy of intention is being infused into that salt. That's the way that I like to do it. Okay, once you've consecrated your salt, the energy in that usually lasts for about 3 months before it attenuates. And attenuation simply means it dissipates gradually, just like everything you do. Like if you burn fish in your kitchen, it's really going to smell bad at first, and then slowly it attenuates, it fades, and then you can't smell burnt fish anymore. That is what happens with everything you do energetically. Anytime you consecrate an item, you consecrate salt, or you make holy water or something like that, the energy in it will fade. Okay, so about 3 months is how long the consecrated salt lasts. You want to put that, if possible, underneath or around the bed specifically. Now, if you have small children or animals, you may have to just get a Ziploc bag and put it under the mattress. Okay, that's going to be okay. It won't distribute as evenly, but you know, you have to do the best you can in your situation. Let's see, check for questions. Melissa says, my professional sessions have helped my rumination over the past couple of years. Awesome, Melissa. And Rob says, put small mirrors in the bedroom windows. It reflects and returns to sender. Yes, absolutely. That is a wonderful idea, Rob. And the mirror would be facing outwards, not inwards towards you, but outwards to reflect the energy that's coming in at you. Other things that you can do to protect yourself at night, any kind of black gemstone can be placed under the pillow or under the mattress. Some of the gemstones that we use for protection and cleansing are black obsidian, black tourmaline, black jet, and black onyx. Now, why do we use black? I get that question a lot. Black is the absence of light, and these entities and the energies are all light energy. And have you ever seen an object that's black? If you shine a laser on it, what happens to the light? The black object absorbs it. And so what theoretically we think happens is these black gemstones are absorbing the light energy instead of you absorbing it. And so when you do use these, you definitely need to ground and cleanse those after each use. Now, how do you do that? Well, you can either lay those stones on top of consecrated salt during the day and let that energy ground out and recharge, or you can simply lay them out on the earth and let them ground out that way. Sometimes laying them on the earth is, I think, the best way. Yes, Melissa, the mirrors go outward. But the theory with the mirrors going outward is that as this negative energy is traveling towards you, okay, in your space, if the mirror is pointed outwards, that energy is going to contact the mirror and be reflected back instead of coming on into you in the house. That's the theory. So Teresa said, if you have copper with it, it will cancel out the Hartman cross earth energy. Good idea. I like that. And Rob says, yes, outward with mirror facing window, not inward towards bed. Awesome. And that's like I said, that's an old technique. If you guys want any more techniques, just message Rob and see what all Rob, maybe you could put together a little Word doc or something with all of this stuff on it, and that way it'd be easier for you to send to people. Because, you know, you got to get tired when you retyping everything over and over. So jet, onyx, black obsidian, black tourmaline, put those underneath the mattress or underneath the pillow. Now, you can enhance the effects of the salt and the effects of the gemstones by using some botanicals, okay? Botanicals in specific that work to protect the energy and the aura are the following: rosemary, lemon, cinnamon, and peppermint. Now, the caution with peppermint is that and rosemary and lemon for that matter, It's a stimulant, and just the aroma from it may actually keep you awake. So sometimes dried is better than fresh because it doesn't have as strong of an aroma, and it won't react on the nervous system to keep you energized all night, because that may be, and that may can backfire on you. So those are the botanicals that you can use. Now next week, let me go over really quick what we're gonna cover next week. Are some of the they're more cleansing techniques. Now these are all debatable, and there's certainly even more techniques than what we're going to bring up next week. These are just a few. We're going to talk more about crystal work. We're going to talk more about, you know, using resonance to protect and block visualizations. I'm going to give you some visualizations to use. We're going to talk about clearing ceremonies, cord cutting, surrounding yourself in light, dream work, and how to strengthen your auric field. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know there's been a lot of people that have been waiting for these episodes. I think next week will be through all the material, but there's a lot here, you guys. You know, I could talk about this stuff all night and answer questions all night. So I hope that this material helps you guys. If it does, remember, sharing is caring, so hit that share button. And if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. For those of you that haven't gone and liked my professional page, go on to Kathryn Kauffman Psychic Medium and give the page a like if you would. All right, guys, until we meet again, hope you guys stay safe. Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you next Monday night. Bye, guys.